My welcome too. Thank you for coming. It's great that you've come out here on this Saturday evening. Well, it's rather wet, and it's great to see so many people here. It's very sad from my point of view that some of you have glasses of wine and beer, and I don't, and I think it's not appropriate for me to stand here, and I would love to. My name is Jon Pearce. I'm one of the co-conveners of Flinders Zero Carbon Community. The other one is Ralph Kenyon over at the back, and together we're sort of responsible for some of these things. But Flinders Zero Carbon Community, what is it? What I'm going to do is to talk a little bit about what it is, how it got started, and then what we've been doing for the last 2 years, and lead into the other exciting things that are going to come. This started early 2021 when Mark Aarons, down here, his fault, he had a passion about saving the environment, making the world a better place. He actually has a bit of a family history in doing that. And he wanted to get a community involved in doing something from the grassroots. And the something is to do with not just batteries, but other things like the environment, tree planting, thinking about how good is your home in terms of its insulation and what sort of heating you use and solar panels. That was, if you like, his vision. We're not alone in doing this. Around Australia, a lot of towns are trying to be the ones to get their town down to zero carbon or net zero carbon. And you've probably heard about them. People like Hepburn Wind, totally renewable Yakandanda try. Phillip Island, they're doing something over there too. What I'd like to mention is a guy called Saul Griffiths, you might have heard of. He's made quite a big splash here. He's Australian. He's been in America for quite a long time. He worked with the Americans, getting them to electrify the country. And he worked from the president down. He came back here, and he's passionate about us getting off gas, electrifying our homes, and trying to get communities to do that from the ground up. Now, he's in a postcode near Wollongong, 2515. He has this lovely thing he does. Whenever he says 2515, he says 2515. I tried that. Flinders. 3, 9. It doesn't work. We're not going to do that. But the idea is we can get a community who want to work together to reduce our impact on the environment. That was the idea behind this Flinders Zero Carbon Community. So a brief history. I talked about Mark forming this group back in 2021. During that year, we had a community forum. That was an online forum. Remember those days? They were COVID days. And Chris Wallen from the Yarra Energy Foundation gave a talk about community batteries. It was a fascinating one. It was all about what the batteries do, why we have them, the technical things, and why we should maybe want one here. After that forum, we did a survey of people in town, and I just noticed some colours disappeared. The survey found out that there was quite a strong feeling that it would be a good idea to get a community battery in Flinders. The next year, in 2022, we had a forum in this room, an electric vehicle forum, and that was run by Mr. Gayton, what's his name? Sorry.
Bryce Gayton.
He
was the former president of the Electric Vehicles Association of Australia.
And he talked about why electric vehicles are good ideas, what they do, and made us all want to go out and buy one. We did another survey after that, and that survey asked more questions about you, if you responded, about where you live, your house, your solar, your insulation, what you do for heating. A lot of questions to give us an idea of what's the community doing in this space. And also to say, what about a battery for Flinders? And again, there was a positive response. The batteries seem to be a good idea. We ran a forum, an online one again, where Mark presented results of that survey, and Lachlan talked about batteries, Lachlan from the Yarra Energy Foundation. During this year, we commissioned a feasibility study to find out, well, if we had a battery, what would it do? Would it generate any income? Is it financially viable? How would it run? And a whole lot of questions that we had to really nut out in order before we went ahead. The feasibility study we commissioned Taryn Lane. She's the woman who set up Hepburn Wind. She did the study, produced a beautiful report. It's online, you could read it. And do that. You can read it online. We also commissioned a roadmap because we thought if we want to get Flinders to zero net energy and zero net carbon by 2030, it's not just about a battery, it's about lots of other things. And this roadmap, roadmap was done by Taryn Lane. And it's another online document you can download. It's got a lot of details about the different facets of what we should think about if you want to address a whole lot of things to do with the way we live here in Flinders. And that roadmap, that was presented in a community forum at the start of this year. And it was, I couldn't be there, we were off in Tasmania somewhere. But at that place, I think Mark spoke, Taryn spoke, and Chris Wallen spoke, and Steph Delaney from the Shire, who's here, also spoke. We launched a website, I'm going to tell you about that in a minute, and in here we decided we'd apply for a government grant for the battery. At this point we got involved with the Shire, who agreed to take on that role of being, if you like, the owner and doing the application work, which was a lot of work. And it was successful, and we got the $500,000 grant from the government, which was enough to pay for a battery and pay for the installation. Since then, I've put this down as liaise, reflect. We've been working towards how do we get this battery happening. And it's a complicated process because there's 4 groups involved. There are the 4 that Mari mentioned earlier. There's the Shire, who sort of owned the project. There's Yarra Energy Foundation, who ran today and is sort of managing that aspect of it. There's Acacia Energy, Stephen and Andrew up the back. They're going to actually do the battery. They'll physically put it in place. Not them in particular, I suspect. And then the other factor in this is United Energy. They own the poles and the wires, and they have to decide what areas of town are suitable for battery in terms of loads on the poles and wires, and also what areas of town have the solar to feed a battery. So these 4 groups, we're now meeting every week and go through all the tedious detail about how to get this thing really to happen. So that's a brief run of where we are now. 2 other things, I want to just ask you 2 things. Oh no, I had to show you this picture. This shows we really exist. This was a photo we had to have just after we had awarded the grant. And it's got our mayor and
Previous mayor.
I thought he'd our previous mayor, Steve Holland, Councillor Gill, Mark, myself, and Ralph, and Mary, poor Mary, who's trying to listen to us now, and I think
she's departed.
She's departed. Here are the 2 things. We have a website which we'd love you to look at. It's a beautiful website, but on that website in particular, there's an FAQ page. We try to put all the information we have about the battery there, and the information comes from us and from the Yarra Energy Foundation. We're trying to make it accurate. There's a lot in there. There's 4 headings: general idea, technical, what's involved, installation. And if you're interested in the space, it's worth flicking through. Just look at those things because you'll find out a lot. My request is you have a look if you're interested. I had this thought, how annoying it is often you go to events or you even buy something online, the next day you get an email saying, how do we do? Now, we wouldn't dream of doing that to you. But last night I had a dream we're going to do that. And I thought, yes, and I thought, no, can't do that. But what you can do is go to the website and you could just send us a note. If you have any feedback on today, I don't know, maybe you are going to hand over. You are, okay. Anyway, if you have comments about anything to do with the project, please go there and drop us a line because we love to hear what people are saying. The other thing I wanted to say is that we're keen to get other people to help in this. It's a community project. The committee has about 10 people, but there's lots of other things that we like to do. For example, you might be good with social media and help us in posting things on social media. You might want to get involved in events like this, or little campaigns you might run to help people think about how to get gas out of their lives, or how to get solar panels on the roofs, or how to insulate their houses. There's lots of things where even just a small input would be good, not necessarily a big commitment. And we're fairly informal. We'd love to meet over a cup of coffee. I'll pay for the first one. So if you want to do that, please go to the website, go to the contact area, and just say hello. I think that's all I have to say. Thank you. Back to you, Marie. No. Lachlan.
Yeah.